I want to talk to you about the fuel saver technology.
Oh, fuel saver. See, fuel saver technology, we came up with the concept of because as you know, there's a lot of pressure on loading resistance. There's a pressure on. Uh, Let me put it this way: the primarily we came up with the fuel saver technology for commercial vehicle, commercial tires. As you know, the in commercial operations, the biggest cost for any commercial operator is first is fuel, and then it is tire.
Tires.
So if you can give somebody a benefit of fuel saving, and if you can demonstrate and prove it, then people are very, very conscious, particularly, I would say in the organized logistics sector, this is even more prominent
It's
now.
very integral. It's very
Yeah,
integral.
it's very
Considering
integral and people are very, very conscious. So we came up with this product and we reduced the RRC to and some other changes in the product, the design, the construction, the material, the compounds, which brought down the fuel consumption to the level of about 8%. And it's humongous. We are still doing some more work on bringing this technology into. So far we brought in this technology into two TBR categories of products, particularly 20-inch size tires, and we've also introduced this into tubeless. So we are planning to launch that also very soon in tubeless TBR. The idea behind this is primarily giving the customer a product which can bring their cost of operation down. Of course, the only thing you have to ensure in this is that you don't compromise on any other performance parameter. I mean, there may be a little bit of a drop in mileage, but very little, maybe 5% or so, but that's nothing. The 8% saving during the life of a tire, which runs almost 80,000 to 100,000 kilometer, you can imagine the kind of saving you're talking. I mean, your tire cost is paid back. In fact, we've calculated the whole set of tires is paid back by if you apply this tire on your vehicle, because you save so much of money. So that is the concept behind fuel saver technology.
no, frugality happens to be at the talk of the town at the moment, considering
Absolutely, absolutely.
how fuel prices are at an all-time high. But of course,
Oh, I tell you, and in fact, now with what you're saying, in fact, the right thing to do would be that this fuel saver technology should be applied even in cars. So far, we did not think of that because cars are all tubeless anyway. And but I think it could be a winner even for for passenger cars.
of course, and since you said that, is the fuel saver technology just limited to tube tires and not tubeless tires? Is there a barrier
Currently,
there?
in the tube type tires we are launched.
Okay.
Tubeless tires we are ready with.
Okay.
We are trying to come up with making sure, because also tubeless has to give X amount of mileage. So the mileage must be either same or little better. That is our, that's what the product is under validation. Fuel saving is confirmed. Mileage, it takes time to run the tire. I mean, tire has to run on the road, and in between there was pandemic and there was vehicle were not running. So because we have to run up to 50,000 or 50,000 plus kilometers to establish the mileage as well as the fuel saving.
No, I have questions regarding that as well. So I hope you have a bottle of water next to you because I'm going to be asking a lot of questions.
Well, then it's sure.
I'm going to move on. What about puncture-proof tires?
That is one of my pet subjects. Because we've been working on this for almost, to be honest with you, almost about 2+ years. So the idea was, that it's we wanted to come up with a technology which enhances the performance of your product in addition to making it puncture proof. So that was a challenge. Now, what do you mean by enhancing the performance? How do you define that? So because you see, the anything you put in a tire, it adds to weight. I mean, it's very simple. This one, and this is an addition, because what we do is we developed a very special spraying technology of this material to be sprayed in such uniform manner throughout the circumference of the tire that it's absolutely uniform. And now we were looking for 2-3 things in addition. One, we should get a tire uniformity, or the rolling behavior or the rolling quality as good or maybe slightly better than without this material. Okay, that was point number one. Point number two, we were looking for a material which will not flow. Once I've sprayed inside, whatever heat or no heat, temperature, or because when the tire runs, there's a temperature rise inside a tire. Suppose tire is running on a long distance, temperature goes up in a tire. I mean, I'm sure you know that. So we don't want it that there should not be any change in the behavior of this material. Thirdly, we wanted that because we are spraying on the tire, we wanted some degree of noise reduction, because this is a concept in world over. There is a concept of noise dampeners. It's called noise dampener. It's like a application of a foam inside. So what it does is it's called a cavity breaker. So your inside, you put that, and then when the tire is rolling, because it's a very low weight but a high volume, so it helps in reducing the noise generation because of damping or vibration or those kind of impact. So we wanted also that some value addition by that. And lastly, we wanted no impact on balancing, no impact on uniformity, and no impact on tire weight. Tire weight means the weight balancing. Tire weight will go up because some addition is there. So we have achieved that, and it took us quite some time to develop this material and this compound and the spraying and the accuracy and the stability. And not only that, we wanted to then test it extensively. So first we took a vehicle, and in one of the tire where this material was there, we punctured it at 12 locations. At 12 locations, we punctured it ourselves with the nails, and we ran it for 10,000 kilometers. There was absolutely no drop of pressure. Then we took the same tire and punctured it 250 times. 250 times, sir. Okay. And we have the record and the data and this one to support it. And we have a demonstration video. How did we puncture? I can also share that video with you. You please share that with you. So we actually ran over nails and we punctured for 250 times and ran that vehicle for another 20,000 kilometers just to establish that air leak nahi hoga. And then incidentally, the guys who recently visited Mysore, many of the journalists had gone there. They saw the demonstration they did not believe, and the tire were punctured in their presence by about 10 nails simultaneously at
different locations. I understand.
The tire is rolling over those nails, and the nails are penetrating, and the tire is coming out, and the holes are created, and the tire goes on, and then they check the pressure, and then they were not believing. So what I'm saying is that this was so now that tire we are ready with, and we'll be very soon I mean, we have not yet commercially released it. So I don't know. I would request you to be maybe put it into the next article.
Okay.
This is just going to be released, I think, in a month's time. So we are completely ready with everything. Tires are under manufacture, a large contingent, because you'll need, once you're launching it commercially, then you'll need to spread it all over. But I can only tell you that it was a very challenging subject, and I think I'm very glad our scientists and our engineers have come up finally with this product, which is absolutely safety oriented, complete safety oriented, peace of mind, because entire tread area, the area which is in the contact of the road, that anything in any kind of hole, of course, if it busts or something, that's a different story, I don't know. But any kind of puncture, any hole, any bolt or any nail, it goes and comes out, there will not be a
loss of
drop
pressure.
1 psi of pressure. That is guaranteed.
I am actually amazed to listen to this, and I am looking forward to looking at this.
Yeah, please do.
Because I haven't had I would love to witness this. And since you
Please
said
do.
that you are already ready with the launch in a month's time, I want to ask you that if it's going to be limited to just passenger vehicles, bikes, or are you going to
At
be
this time of the machines which we have developed for implementing is for passenger cars,
okay, only
SUVs,
cars?
cars, and all that. But we are going to be doing it for also bikes very soon, because technology will be same. It's only the spraying techniques, the machines, the sizes of the rims are different. The the type of spray system will be slightly different, but the principle we will be coming out with also in the bikes. And eventually we will look at going into any kind of a tire, which is, but of course it will be primarily for tubeless. So it cannot be a tube type tire, because tube you can't put the system inside. Yeah.
And also considering that how the PSIs won't be dropped, how much of an impact are we looking at the frugality of the machine that we are running at? Considering the tire is now punctureless, will it be dropping some kind of having some kind of impact on the frugality of the machine?
On the
frugality, the fuel economy.
No. That's what I'm saying. No. RRC is not reduced. Balancing is not reduced. Noise is reduced.
Okay.
Noise is reduced. The balancing weights which you put when you mount a tire, because some degree 5 gram, 10 gram, 20 gram, you have to put to balance. That is not changing. So that's what the whole idea was, that it must not impact any other parameter. But yes, it will impact the weight. Weight will go, but it will not influence you. It will not impact your rolling resistance. It won't impact your mileage. In fact, if at all something, mileage may be a little bit be better, because there will be some damping effect. So it's very interesting. No drop in anything except, of course, it'll cost you a little bit more. There's no doubt about it. But it's a complete safety and peace of mind. If you have an air pressure, you are filled in, and if your valve, of course, valve has to be good and nicely, tightly fitted. After that, you don't have to worry. Pressure will not drop. For some, air permeability is a matter of this one. Some air bubbles do form through other areas, other locations, because tire is ultimately mounted. But suppose today you fill it every 15 days, maybe you fill it much later also, you will still find the pressure is intact.
Also, sir, since you told me about the puncture area, so is it just the contact patch or throughout the tire, like even the sidewalls?
In the contact area, no. Sidewall is very difficult to. The sidewall is primarily gets damaged because of impact brakes.
Okay.
Curb brakes, or you hit some object or something, so it damages the sidewall. So it's those are not very those are
puncture prone areas. I understand.
Rare kind of a thing, and that if happens you must be a careless driver fundamentally. Otherwise, sidewall won't get damaged normally.
Yes. It was just a question. I'm
Yeah.
going to move on to another question, sir.
Yeah.
What about color tires? Since that's also out there in the making, color tires.
See, I can tell you, if you go into the history of JK Tyre, and if you try to trace back, maybe I think even in our website is maybe there, I don't remember. But we produced colored tires, I think way back, almost about 15 years back. We produced actual colored tire. The tires were mounted in some OEM's cars in one of the auto expo also long back. Like a red car had a red tire, and another car had a green tire. So we made all kinds of color tires, and that's not difficult to make. There's not a problem. The point is that you see two, three things which we observed. So what is a color tire? Color tire is primarily there's no carbon black on the material outside.
Exterior, yeah, exactly.
Carbon black is the one which gives with the rubber a black color. So it is replaced by some other filler, which is primarily silica. And so silica is basically a environmentally friendly material. So we still do tremendous amount of tires today. Most of a large contingent of tires, which is very high silica levels, but we still put some carbon black to keep it black. Okay, so that means as far as replacement of carbon black is concerned, that technology we are already implementing for many tires, and many cars. These tires are going with very low rolling resistance. As you know, today's OEMs are seeking lower and lower and lower rolling resistance for better and better fuel saving and fuel efficiency. So we are doing that technology. But making colored tire, why we did not pursue it for 2-3 reasons. That you have to keep the tire very clean. You see, if you have a colored, we also came up with a concept of like a green concept. So we made green bands on the tread area. That means center of the tread in the tire was completely green. So we still have all this technology. There's not a problem. We can make it anytime. You want a color tire, I'll make for you. There's not a problem. But the important thing is you have to maintain it very well. You have to keep it regularly clean, because green becomes, or any other color you put it becomes.
And it will catch on dust. It will catch on all the dirt.
It is dust and it will become dirty. Then it looks not so pleasing
it's
to your eyes. And so that's one part. Second part is basically nothing but, I mean, it's a need. If somebody wants a color tire, we can make somebody approaches us. In fact, in Bombay, this was a display of, you remember the Atmanirbhar Bharat? There was a very big show organized by Modi ji about 5 years back. What was that? Atmanirbhar Bharat.
Atmanirbhar Bharat.
हाँ, उसके ऊपर बहुत बड़ा show हुआ था. Lion was made and all that.
Okay.
There were many companies which participated in that show.
Okay.
And we also participated, and we displayed color tires. And in fact, many auto companies said, "Oh, it will be great to have a red tire on my red car." We said, "Sure." So it's a purely need based. We have the technology. We have done it many years back.
On custom demand, it can be made.
I can do.
Not a problem at all.
Absolutely, any color, even multicolor. If you want green, white sidewall, and you want red thread, we can even do that. That's not a problem. So that's not at all a problem.
Sir, I'm gonna move on to another question. What does the transition from ICE to EVs mean for JK Tires? I mean, what are the steps taken by the company to accommodate this crossover? Also, what are your initiatives towards the EV products?
See, first of all, the one thing I have to tell you that obviously we are very much alive to EV, and we have separate teams and separate vertical for EV technology in our primarily in two groups, which is PCR and commercial. So we are already developing this technology. So basically, what do you mean by EV tire? So EV tire primarily requires 3-4 important factors. One, first of all, it requires a resistance to high torque, because an EV vehicle has a very quick,
Acceleration.
yeah, very fast acceleration. So the torque generated on the tire is a high, because it's a sudden, kind of impact. That's one aspect which is important. Second is, because it's an EV concept, so your fuel efficiency or energy efficiency, in this case, there is no fuel, it's energy. So energy consumption, or that means resistance to roll, and in simple language, rolling resistance, that has to be low. That is a second point. Third point is that it has to have a low noise, because now when your IC engine to EV technology, there's nothing, hardly anything moving except the wheels or your steering. So there's nothing else moving. It's a motor which is transmitting the movement onto the axle.
Or to the axles, of course. Yeah, nothing else is moving.
That's it. That's all what is moving. So there's no other part, there's no engine, there is no other dynamic motions. So the noise level is going to be very low. It's almost a silent vehicle. Negligible noise. So therefore, the tire noise, which otherwise is almost 70 dB or 70 dB normally. So you need to reduce that to whatever extent you can. I mean, there's a limit to reduce it, but you have to reduce the noise level of a tire. So we have developed this technology, and we have not currently, to the best of our understanding, the tires which are being fitted are not normal tires, but we have tires ready with the EV technology, and we are very soon planning to offer that with all this data, because we've done all analysis and all the field tests, all the track tests, all the data generation with the systems I was telling you, comparative data. And with that, armed with all that data, we are planning to approach some of the EV tires so that we can offer them actual proper EV product. And we are ready with both passenger radial and truck radial tires. And we also did a lot of worldwide benchmarking, I must share with you. We also got tires from which EV car comes to your mind first, which is a
Tesla. I mean,
you're right. So Tesla. So we got tires of Tesla, just to understand but we got 2 or 3 sets. So it was different. One set was just normal street tires. Second set was a more EV concept. So we just wanted to understand what's happening world over. And so our teams have been very, very keenly and aggressively working on it. And we are definitely ready, definitely on track, and I would say absolutely ready with this technology. And of course, technology continuously develops. More rolling resistance. Our now teams are working on how to reduce it further, how to reduce noise further. So, I mean, that's a never ending. But
yes, a never ending process.
The technology is available. And
Will sir, I would like to ask you that since you have already mentioned that EVs are supposed to be much more quieter than compared to the ICE counterpart, and also there is no loss of power when it comes to EV, so it's instant torque. How much of a difference are we talking about when it comes to an ICE tire from an EV tire? What is the basic difference? How much of a difference?
Oh, in terms of torque you're talking, or in terms of product?
In terms of the product, in terms of the material used, in terms of
material used is more, I would say, obviously it's going to be more expensive, because you're keeping very, very low rolling resistance, and resistance to torque means much better. Torque resistance will lead to resistance to that torque, or resistance to wear.
Okay.
resistance to how do I put it? Not losing. You won't like your EV tire giving you 10,000 kilometers again, IC tire 40,000 or 50,000 kilometers. So to maintain that kind of a cycle, so you have different materials to be used, and also design concepts slightly change. You have different, the rib types, rib sizes, design shapes and sizes are different. So it's a new molds, new investment. Material are this one. So there is a to some extent there is an impact on cost, but that's it. That is a necessity. So if you want the right product, you have to give the right material and the right input. So, and I think it's not for us alone. I would say anybody who comes up with the right EV product would have to invest in that technology.
Yeah, it is. You can't escape.
I can't escape that. Yeah.